Viewer beware, you're in for spoilers if you continue this scare.
Hey everybody, Bumps in the Night here. As you can see, I'm kind of in the middle of doing a bunch of stuff. Haven't really had time to record. Don't want to get too behind. I actually just watched the episode last night. So let's get into this next Goosebumps episode. This episode was called Night of the Living Dummy Part 2. And I don't think anybody expected it to go the way it did. At least I know I didn't. So dealing with the aftermath of the possession, and we kind of get a little bit of a flashback in the beginning. We get to see Mr. Brett's life before he lived in Port Lawrence. So he was a teacher, he was behind on his rent, he got fired for trying to inspire kids because he was just over here ranting about stuff. What a lot of us do. We get lost in our own thoughts and, we want more for ourselves. And he wanted that, but he was a teacher. So one of the kids reported him for, trying to inspire them. In the long run of things, he takes his dog out. His dog's named Fifi. Yes, I was wrong. Fifi was in this. I thought it was going to be in the Give Yourself Goosebumps episode, but no. She was his poodle. As his landlord's telling him, you've got 3 days to pay the rent, Fifi gets hit by a car and dies. Mr. Brett inherits the house right before he's evicted, so then we get that was the flashback. Now we're present day. Mr. Brett makes it home to the Biddle residence, and he's just like, wow, that would make a hell of a story. And then so he goes and types it up, and he changes little details. Isaiah's name is changed, and now he's a baseball player. He changes all the kids' names, essentially, and the parents' names, and instead of being Slappy, the dummy's name is Snappy. So he sends it off, and it's kind of just like an aftermath episode. We kind of see everyone recovering. Something that did happen I wasn't a fan of. Margot's dad proposed to Nora, but Margot's dating Lucas, who would essentially be her stepbrother if they do get married.
What? What the fuck?
I don't like that. I really don't. I would have more preferred if Isabella had, spawned an interest in Lucas, love interest-wise. I mean, I get they want dramatic tension for the teen. We're getting a little too close to the whole brother-sister thing, step-brother-sister. I don't like it. I don't. So that's, my biggest gripe in general with the series. Colin, Margot's dad, is now engaged to Nora, which means Colin's officially, done with his relationship with Margot's mom. So Margot's mom says, hey, I'd like you to move to Seattle with me. And she's like, maybe. So her and the other kids all pile into James's Jeep, and they head out to Seattle for the weekend. So the kids leave town for the weekend. While this is all kind of transpiring, we see that Mr. Brett kept Fifi. He got her stuffed, which I guess, I love my cat, but I wouldn't personally do that anyway. And he has her hung on his mantle. After that, he gets a call, and they said, they really like your book. You could be the next Stephen King, but we hate the ending. And the ending is how it ended, Snappy got thrown over the edge of the cliff, and the Harold Biddle ghost disappeared. So, Brett's got writer's block. He's freaking out. He spends probably a good 25 minutes, think. And he's out for a drive while thinking, and he decides he needs a new ending. What are you going to do? He goes and gets Slappy. Yeah, he went and he got all the pieces of Slappy, brought him back, and I guess the fall did kill Slappy because he was not moving. In the trailer for this episode, shows somebody going to get Slappy, and he's like, took you long enough. Well, it's Brett. And he dumps all the pieces on his living room floor, reads the spell, Karu, Marie, O'Donnell, Lamana, Lamaru, or close, whatever that is. And from there, Slappy pulls himself back together. Slappy then animates Fifi and convinces Brett he's only helping him get the ending he needs. So Brett's desperate. Brett's like, sure. Fifi becomes a vampire, or I don't know if vampire per se, but she's got red eyes and fangs now, so Fifi then leads Brett to go to this spot to dig, where he digs up that coffin. The coffin that had the word can do on it. From there, it flashes back and forth between that and the kids. Margot's deciding whether she likes it or not there. There's a little more romantic tension between her and Isaiah. Isaiah's like, you should move here if you want. You make the choice. And Lucas is acting all like, no, don't go. I like my town. Stop it. He was just, I wouldn't say he's being toxic per se, but he wasn't being supportive. And I know they're a new couple, but they've only been dating for 2 weeks. It's not really the end of the world. Kind of stupid in my opinion personally, but I'm not a teenager anymore, so I don't know. Margot's whole group goes to a party out in Seattle that her cousin's throwing, and Lucas kind of dissociates when she finally bumps into him again at the party. He's like, I hate it here, I want to leave, and he just bails. So Margot's all teary-eyed and heartbroken. We flash back to Brett again. Brett has dug up the coffin that says can do and has dragged it into his house. Isaiah's dad shows up because Brett had mentioned he was writing a book, and I guess it just dawned on Isaiah's dad to go check. I don't really know what the correlation as to why he was there, but he popped in, and as this happens, Mr. Brett's already reached in the coffin, pulled out a new card, said a new spell, which I don't remember, but the spell pulled Slappy's soul out of the doll and put it into the coffin. Then the coffin opens up, and a man gets out who is rotting, but is now not rotting. He's regaining his flesh. He's no longer a corpse. I thought it was interesting that Brett had the same flashback to essentially that the great-great-grandpa did, the magician who found Slappy originally, where like he was going to read it and he saw this burning tower and screaming, and Brett's like, I don't know. Yeah, Brett unleashes a humanoid version of Slappy onto the world. Slappy does the spell and turns Isaiah's dad into a puppet, which I don't know if he's dead, because technically it killed Harold's parents, but we don't know if there's a time limit. We don't really know enough about it, but definitely not the twist I was expecting. So human Slappy and Fifi walk off to go ravage the town. The next episode's called Horrorland, and I don't know how to feel. I don't know if they're going to be able to wrap this up in 42 minutes, because realistically, it's not even the longest episode. Like, I'd expect the season finale to be the longest episode. Some of the episodes, like Go Eat Worms, are like an hour or something. Like, but this one's like 42 or 43 minutes. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I got a really bad feeling they're going to leave it for a cliffhanger. My favorite part of the episode I failed to mention was while Brett's driving to get Slappy, he's listening to writing tips by R.L. Stine, and R.L. Stine's like, don't forget, you need a beginning, a middle, and a twist. And I was just like, oh, that's awesome. So that was probably my favorite part. I really wasn't expecting the human Slappy part. I have no idea where we're going with this. I don't think we're going to get an actual Horrorland. I think they're calling this episode Welcome to Horrorland because Slappy's going to turn Port Lawrence into, like, kind of like what we saw before. He turns everyone else into dummies, and now he's not. And I'm sure at some point he's going to use his catchphrase, now who's the dummy, after he's gotten all these puppet people together. I don't think it, Horrorland's more so an idea, not like an actual amusement park or a theme park, but it's just, it's the area of land he has released his horror upon. That's how I interpret it anyway. I don't know, I'd give this episode like 8.5 out of 10. For an Aftermath episode, it was really good, and I guess I really just enjoyed the Slappy twist. I was not expecting that. I don't think any of the books have ever done that. He's never wanted to be human. It almost felt like a bit like the Chucky thing. Like, Chucky was constantly trying to become human. I don't know. I didn't hate it. So, looking forward to next week for the season finale. I'm probably going to be a little late on that one as well. I've got to close out the giveaway. I'm actually getting ready to travel states again because I'm doing an interview up in Tennessee, so I am going to be busy. I'll get out my usual 2 videos a week, and then just kind of be patient with me. I'm trying to transition my life. For everyone who has subscribed, I appreciate your viewership. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me here. And for everyone who entered the contest, thank you for that as well. Looking forward to drawing some names and shipping out some books. With that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next one.